Okay, what are you? What are you? I was adopted February 14th, 1982, along with my twin sister from Seoul, Korea. And in 1991, every year my family tries to celebrate Chinese New Year, Valentine's Day, and Sister's Day. And that year was the year that Jungle Fever came out, and it was also the same year that I heard my father speak Chinese for the first time. We were at a Chinese restaurant, and everything was normal, except for the fact that my family walked in, we got the regular stares, we heard the regular whispers. But by the end of the meal, my father addressed the waitress in their native language, which let them know that not only because he was with a biracial, he had 3 biracial children and he was in an interracial marriage and had a white wife, he did not lose touch with his roots. So that was just one of the many experiences I've had growing up, and it hasn't always been easy, as you know, my mother would bring home multicultural crayons for us to bring to school to match the color of our skin. When we stopped needing God Loves Me Because I'm Very, Very, Very Different books, and when my sister finally stopped asking when she would turn her color. So we've come a long way, this multicultural presence, from being faces that were once ignored, that represented war, hate, and violence, to faces globally not recognized. We've come from being people who didn't represent a darn thing to people who are winning national prizes. Some may starting with Jennifer Beals' flash dance. But what are you? Race, culture, ethnicity, all different, all confusingly intertwined. Race, by definition, is belonging to a stock or breed, which is an old MacDonald term, which I think is to divide us, not unify us. And then we have culture. It's a set of beliefs that you have in relation to a group, and then there's ethnicity. So now we have tangibility of who we are and what we are. With Angelina Jolie's family, that's a multiracial family, an example of transracial adoption, this will be more prevalent to you as Americans as the Haiti disaster just occurred. These adoptions are international. They're not national or domestic adoptions, because back in the day, social workers tried to prohibit or do their darndest not to have black children adopted by white people because they said it was cultural genocide, okay? So these aren't examples, though, of biracial children or of interracial relationships. And back in the day, the now racially sensitive census is offering this block for us to fill out what we are. But this creates over 32,000 combinations. And I used to write human instead, scratch out this other. And now there's some interesting stuff coming out like haplogroup, and I encourage you to look into that. I guess we're going to talk about the emerging identifiers, or self-emerging identifiers coming out for people like me, like Hapa, which means half Asian or half in Hawaiian, or Cablinasian, as Oprah lovingly, coined Tiger Woods back in the day. It wasn't until 43 years ago the Anti-Miscegenation Act was overturned, and that prohibited interracial marriages from occurring in the United States. And these people, actually, I just learned, still endured things afterwards. They were arrested because they lived together in an interracial family. Also, currently, Keith Bardwell, the Louisiana judge, tried to not have the interracial marriage occur, and he wouldn't marry them, but it doesn't stop the 5.2 million demographic from growing. So I guess, what are you is the question, and what I am, I'd like to introduce. I am a half-black, Roman Catholic, Korean immigrant, second-generation Chinese-American, fourth-generation Portuguese-American, who celebrates a Jewish Christmas by exchanging Kwanzaa gifts. So I think it's really important for you guys to understand that identity comes in all sorts of ways, and we look all differently, but we've come a long way. I was raised in Columbia, Maryland, which we lived James Rouse's dream, and James Rouse's dream was that we just all live in harmony. and we live with the same background. So more importantly, what I'd like to discuss with you is be yourself, talk about your identity. It's important to talk about it. Thank you.